So the substance which we'll talk about today is the third leading cause of death in the world, and approximately 2.5 million of people die of this substance each year. So this represents 4% of all the deaths in the world. And the substance I'm talking about, I think everybody here has already taken this substance, and probably more than once, I think. Because the substance I'm talking about is alcohol. So now I'd like to share some knowledge about alcohol with you, and first I'll start by giving you a basic description of what is alcohol, and then we'll discuss about the causes, the symptoms and side effects, and the possible treatments of alcoholism. So, alcohol has been used for centuries by humans, and its consumption is worldwide. Alcohol is very present in our society, and people they take alcohol because they are on the pursuit of pleasure, for example, or pursuit of enjoyment, or just because it's a social thing, like the influence of others, or you want to give a certain image of yourself by drinking alcohol. But nevertheless, alcohol, as the World Health Organization said, is a very addictive substance. So, now that I told you about alcohol, let me explain how alcohol is made. So I think you already know how alcohol is made. It's made by fermenting plants. So let me give you some examples. I think you know the answers, but if you ferment some barley, you have beer and whiskey. If you ferment grapes, you have wine and cognac. If you ferment potato, you have a very Russian alcohol, which is vodka. And finally, if you ferment rice, the very Asian alcohol, which is sake. So, also alcohol can be distilled to obtain a very stronger alcohol, like vodka, for example. And yeah, that's how alcohol is made. So let's talk about the legal status of alcohol. Here is a map. So you can see the legend, but I'll explain to you. So the right countries is where there is no legal age for alcohol. I mean, you can drink alcohol and buy alcohol even if you're 6 or 7 years old. And the highest drinking age is 21. So the countries with this law, like America, is where you can't buy alcohol before 21. And alcohol is illegal in 9 countries. So those countries are Libya, Sweden, it's the black countries, so probably most of them. So it's Libya, Sweden, Afghanistan, Brunei, Bangladesh, Iran, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, and Yemen. Also, in certain countries, alcohol can be sold to certain religious people. Like if you are Muslim, for example, alcohol is illegal. For example, in Morocco or some Muslims countries. So it's illegal to buy alcohol if you are Muslim. So that is social acceptability. In average, a person consumes 205 ounces of alcohol per year. So it's like 6 liters for you. And the heaviest drinker, they are Moldavia, which they consume 675 ounces of alcohol per person per year. So it's like 19 liters. So in France, we are at 10 liters, 14 liters, and American people, 10 liters. So the most consumed alcohol differs by country. So if you are in America, you will most consume beer. If you are in Asia or countries like this, you will most consume sake. And in Europe, we are big fans of wine, but we also like beer. So now that you know a little more about alcohol, let's move on to discussing about the causes of alcoholism. So, what can you ask yourself to know if you are an heavy drinker or if you drink too much or you might be an alcoholic? So, if you are a man and you drink more than 21 glasses per week, maybe you drink too much. That's a fact. And if you are a woman, it's 14 glasses per week. So also, if you are unable to moderate your consumption, you drink too much. If you are doing bets with yourself, like tonight I'm not drinking or I'm not drinking for a week, maybe you drink too much too. And finally, the most important thing, if you feel that you are developing kind of a tolerance for alcohol, like you shake when you don't drink alcohol, or in your mind you only think about alcohol, then maybe you drink too much too. But I'm not judging. So what can be the causes for alcohol? So the first one, and the most popular cause for alcoholism is depression. Like if you have some troubles in your life, with your family or at work, that can lead to depression, and most of the time depression leads to alcoholism. Another cause is called binge drinking. It means that you drink a lot in a very short amount of time in order to get drunk. Like you often binge drink at parties, or for example it's your birthday and people make you drink, so you drink a lot, or you go to a party, people make you drink, and if you do this too often, that can lead to alcoholism. And finally, about the genetic causes, you can't really inherit alcoholism from your parents, when you can imitate them. Like if your parents drink every day, when you are a child, you can imitate them and drink too after. So that can lead to alcoholism. So now that you know the causes of alcoholism, let's talk about the symptoms and side effects. So it's important to know that alcohol is a poison. It's toxic for the human cells. If you drink a little bit of alcohol, your cells, they stop. And if you drink too much alcohol, it kills your cells. So that's bad. And alcohol can be lethal. So it's a very toxic substance, because if you drink too much, you vomit, you can have some stupor, and alcohol can lead to death. So about the short-term effects, you can do to yourself unintentional injuries like car accidents. You are not the master of yourself anymore, and you take your car. So here is an example. Violence also is a short-term effect. Like when you're drunk, you tend to be a little more violent. It can lead to risky sexual behavior, like unprotected sexual relation, and it can lead to alcohol poisoning. So you can feel sick for a few days and be like this girl in your toilets. And about the long-term effects, so you can suffer from neurological problems, like your brains. It damages your brain. You can suffer from cardiovascular problems like hypertension. You can also develop cancers, a lot of cancers, like cancer of mouth, cancer of the throat, cancer of the liver, cancer of the breast, so a lot of bad cancers. And you can also develop some very nasty disease to your liver, because it's your liver who absorbs the alcohol. So you can have a lot of problems with your liver, like cancer, obviously. So now that you know more about the symptoms of alcohol, let's talk about how to treat alcoholism. So the first step to treat your alcoholism problem is to accept it. You have to accept that you have a drinking problem, and the most popular NPO who help you with it is Alcoholic Anonymous. This is the sign. So you can go to a meeting, and they help you to accept your drinking problem, and they can also help you to the rehabilitation. Or you can also go to a rehabilitation center like this one. This is the Betty Ford Center. A lot of very famous people went to this center. presenter like Anand Goldsmith, Nicky Mantle, or most recently Lindsay Lohan. And approximately for a successful recovery, the treatment lasts for 90 days. If you go to a rehab center for 90 days, you have like 50 or 60% rate to success in your rehabilitation. And after that, it's just a work with yourself. If you have good health, good motivation, good social support, that's the road to sobriety. But if you have a poor health, poor social support, and a poor motivation, you will relapse in alcohol in a few years. So, to sum up our discussion on alcohol today, I'd like to remind you that we covered the causes of alcoholism. We then talk about its symptoms and effects, and learn a little bit about how to treat alcoholism. So I hope I didn't discuss too much of alcohol, because a moderated and controlled use of alcohol is not really nocive and can be a good tool for cultural rehabilitation. So thank you for listening, and if you have any question, please ask me.